They have made me out to be a monster. And I just want to say, I did not kill Selena. It was an accident. And my conscience is clear.
Selena was only 23 when she died at the hands of Saldivar. She was a Grammy-winning, undisputed queen of Tejano music. A lively mix of European sounds and Mexican salsa that was rapidly crossing into the mainstream because of Selena's popularity. The spirited young singer began her career as a child, performing in the family band formed by her father, himself a singer in his youth. Selena's flashy style and powerful vocals lifted her family out of poverty. In the last year of her life, she was a millionaire who was on the verge of a crossover career. And Yolanda Saldivar thought so too. She sought out Selena in 1991 in the family's hometown of Corpus Christi, offering to form a fan club. Soon, she was always at the singer's side, even quitting her nursing job to work full-time for Selena and run her new boutique business.
She was like a cuddling bear, teddy bear, that she would allow you to love her. I told her that I loved her like a daughter. And she goes, you know, I give you that right. She would call me Mom on the phone.
She called you Mom?
Yeah, she says, hi Mom, how you doing?
Selena's parents questioned whether their daughter called Saldivar Mom, but says she was close to the family until early this year. That's when Abraham Quintanilla, Selena's father and business manager, says he discovered forged checks and other evidence that Saldivar was embezzling money from both the fan club and the boutiques. In March, both he and Selena confronted Saldivar.
My last words with her was that I was going to go to the police to see what we could do, you know, to charge her with something. She was stealing money. And this triggered the woman.
That day, March 9th, he says Saldivar left town with Selena's business records. 4 days later, she bought a gun. On March 31st, Saldivar returned to Corpus Christi and asked Selena to meet her at the Days Inn motel. She told her to come alone. The two women argued, and suddenly there was a gunshot. An injured and hysterical Selena raced from the motel room to the lobby, where she collapsed.
And that shot caused Selena to bleed to death as she was running toward the lobby. She just bled to death.
Prosecutor Carlos Valdez pieced together a motive.
The defendant had wrapped up her whole life around Selena Quintanilla Perez. Her whole world was walking out the door and she wouldn't stand for it, so she shot her.
Let's keep her alive and enjoy her music.
The grief-stricken Mexican-American community mourned Selena as an idolized daughter or sister. Thousands turned out for a candlelight vigil, saying goodbye to a shining young role model who never forgot her roots. The one thing no one disputes is what ultimately happened here at the Days Inn in room 158. It was Yolanda Saldivar who fired the single gunshot that killed the young singer. But why the shooting happened is still the subject of intense speculation, weeks after the jury's conviction. The prosecution contends it was a case of cold-blooded murder committed by an obsessed fan out for revenge. But Saldivar insists it was all a tragic accident, a story she still stands by today. What happened that morning when Selena arrived? Did she say she wanted to fire you?
Never. She never told me that. I was telling her to leave. And I said, it's over, Selena. It's over. I can't work for you no more. I can't work for you no more. She went down. She grabbed my feet and told me not to leave her. And I picked her up and I told her, just leave. And I grabbed the gun, put it in my head. I pulled the thing back. And I said, if you don't leave, I'm gonna do it, Selena. And she got up and she says, Mom, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. I'm gonna close the door. And when she was walking to the door, she was going at an angle. And I told her, don't close the door. And in that instant, the gun went off.
But why didn't it hit you?
Because I was pointing to the door, and it just went.
Did you know she was hit?
No, I did not know.
There was blood along the door seal,
I didn't even look at the door.
but there was blood all over the room. How could you not see it?
The pictures that I see, they're dots.
Saldivar left the blood-spattered room and headed to her car with the gun still in her hand. She said she was looking for Selena. The next 9 hours became a standoff with police. Saldivar sat in her car, gun to her head, negotiating into the night before finally giving herself up.
Many people have wondered that if you were really trying to kill yourself, why didn't you commit suicide when you were in the car all those 9.5 hours?
There were many things going through my mind. I could hear her in my mind telling me, stay behind, stay behind. I hear her tell me, you don't commit suicide because I'll never see you in heaven.
Jurors didn't believe Saldivar. It took them less than 3 hours to convict her. Prosecutor Valdez insists there was no evidence of an accidental shooting.
This was a simple case of cold-blooded murder. There was an intent involved, and she did exactly what she set out to do.
Despite all the evidence against her, Saldivar gives a strikingly different account of the shooting and the weeks that led up to it, contradicting witnesses and the Quintanilla family.
Did you steal any money from Selena's business?
No, ma'am. Not ever.
Can you tell me if you were angry, frustrated?
No, I was never angry. I was never frustrated.
Quintanilla, now living with the silence of his daughter's empty recording studio, says his documents prove that Saldivar embezzled more than $100,000 from Selena. He also says he was increasingly bothered by Saldivar's possessiveness toward his daughter.
And I did start noticing an obsession with Selena. In my opinion, she was living a life through Selena. Here you have a person that's nowhere in life. Right before she killed Selena, I found out that she was stalking Selena by phone.
There were allegations that you were in love with her.
And that's not true either. And if people think that Selena and I had a lesbian relationship, you're not a fan of Selena.
Why did you decide you needed a gun?
It was after threats had been made against my life.
Who threatened you?
Her father.
Abraham Quintanilla threatened you.
Yes.
Quintanilla insists he'd never threatened Saldivar. He's convinced that she bought the gun to kill Selena.
She saw me as the person who initiated this, and she saw me as the enemy. How much more could she hurt us than killing Selena?
Is there any way Selena or her family could have seen this kind of a death coming?
No.
No tips, no clues.
No.
The murderer of Selena is seeking parole in 2025 after serving over 30 years in prison. After serving 30 years in jail for the murder of singer Selena Quintanilla Perez, Yolanda Saldivar is applying for release in 2025. On Monday, December 30th, Us Weekly verified that 64-year-old Saldivar is now undergoing a parole review. The date of her eligibility is March 30th, 2025. According to internet documents that we looked at, Saldivar is also qualified for prisoner visiting. Saldivar's jail record is now in excellent standing, according to a Sunday, December 29th New York Post article.